Good morning. It is Friday, March 6th, and it is the end of week 8 of the 2026 legislative session. We have just 1 week to go. Next Saturday at midnight is the end of the session. So a lot of things have been happening at the state capitol this week. Notably, both the Senate and the House passed the final version of the budget, Senate Bill 250, yesterday, and have sent that down to the governor's desk. That's very early to get a budget done. Usually that is something that's accomplished the final week. But what is important about that day, and both bodies have fairly openly signaled this, is that it's within the time that the governor has to review a bill is still within 5 days at the timing of the session. So if he were to use any line item vetoes or veto the entire budget, it gives the legislature the opportunity to override a veto. Normally, when a budget is passed, the veto window is much longer because it's later in the session. So that is just something that we're paying close attention to right now. Now, notably within the budget, they budgeted for a 5% income tax cut. So Senate Bill 392 remains in the House Finance Committee, and that is the actual vehicle to enact a 5% tax cut. The budget just essentially allocates the money for it, or recognizing that it would be a reduction of about $125 million. So we're watching both of those things. Senate Bill 250, the budget bill, again, is in front of the governor. Senate Bill 392, which would be the vehicle for the tax cut, remains in the House Finance Committee. Now, the House passed out a fantastic piece of legislation this week, and that is House Bill 4191. The lead sponsor is Delegate Bob Fehrenbacher, who's been a true champion of child care and economic development during his time in the House of Delegates. House Bill 4191 does a lot of things. First of all, it locks in the enrollment versus attendance issue. It locks in that the state must reimburse child care providers for subsidized children based on enrollment. That's a great thing, and that would add a lot of certainty to child care providers across West Virginia. It also addresses the after-school issue of enrollment versus attendance by reducing the time from 4 hours to 2.5 hours that must be accomplished. So basically, under this bill, a child in an after-school program would have to attend at least 2.5 hours 1 day a month in order for the child care provider, to be reimbursed based on enrollment. The bill also would go ahead and shift the paperwork, which is currently, believe it or not, done by paper, to an electronic means. It would require child care providers to be reimbursed based on the actual cost of care. So that bill does a lot of things. It's also going to make it easier for employers to sponsor child care for their employees and receive some tax assistance with that. So that is a great bill. It has been single reference to the Senate Finance Committee, and we're urging the Senate Finance Committee to take that bill up and move it out. It actually does not have a fiscal note into it because we're already doing enrollment versus instead of attendance in West Virginia. So that is something that we're hopeful this bill can continue to move. We also are continuing to very closely monitor House Bill 4198, the E-Verify bill. It is pending in the Senate Judiciary Committee, and so we've been working and explaining to senators the problems with that bill, how that would especially impact small businesses in West Virginia. We're paying very close attention to whether or not that bill hits an agenda, and if it does, is it going to be amended so that it is not onerous onto the employer community in West Virginia. So stay tuned related to that piece of legislation. But here's what's something for everyone to remember. The time to get bills out of committee is quickly narrowing. Bills still have to be read on the floor 3 times. So essentially, Thursday would be the last day that a committee could get a bill out and immediately read it a first time. So we're in a very narrow window. Basically, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, committees would be able to run bills, but Thursday, the time is getting very limited. And then next Friday, next Saturday is really just going to be solely floor action, both on the House and the Senate. I'll check back in with you next week on day 59, just to go ahead and give you an update. And then we'll be doing a lot of post-session recaps for our members, an opportunity for you to get on, hear how the session went, as well as ask questions about the various bills that we're moving this session. Thank you for your continued support, and we'll check back in next week.